Hello and welcome to a colour recording for people born in the month of February to see how April will develop. I'm Dr. Karen and this is Karen's Colours. For this month, I've decided on an oracle card that isn't really something that one would call an oracle. They predate the fashion for oracles. And in fact, they're blank on one side. They're actually wisdom from the elders, and I've long lost the package that came from this, but I've had this set of cards for decades. And they have some really interesting bits of wisdom for people. So I hope you enjoy those along with your colour reading. So let's get into it. Well, February babies, let's have a look at what we have on offer for you for April. We begin with pink on cyan, and then we have cyan on black, and then we go to grey on black, and the underlying energy is yellow on grey. Right. Well, the first thing I can tell you is that you have a fairly limited palette of colours, of skills coming up for you in April. You begin the month fairly well by bringing with you the very colours that are perhaps the most gentle of those in the entire colour scheme. Pink on cyan. Cyan internally is about a need for harmony, a need for contentment. You want to be comfortable. Pink in the real world is about that baby energy. The I want, please someone look after me. And in fact, what you're looking for here is to be a contented child. You want things smooth and comfortable, and that's in fact what you have brought with you into the month of April. So March, or at least the end of March, has been rather good for you. You've ended up being able to create the sort of comfortable environment that enables you to feel loved and cherished. But that doesn't last, and that's not surprising because very few things last in life. What we end up with by the middle of the month is cyan on black. Now, black internally means that something has gone wrong, and as a result, you had to withdraw inside of yourself. You now find yourself in a situation where you just want to be left alone. This is the Greta Garbo of the colour schemes. In the real world, you have cyan, that is, I am connected to the world, but I want to have my peace and quiet internally. So in the real world, you're simply doing what is necessary, the absolute minimum of what is necessary in order to maintain the sort of comfortable existence that you have been used to and have created back here with the pink on cyan. Contented baby, I want to be left alone. Coming up for you in the future, however, is a situation in which you have grey on black. Now, that same feeling of wanting to isolate yourself, to move inwards, to get in touch with what's going on inside of you continues. Now, that getting in touch with the things inside of you is very important because it asks us to make questions, to question ourselves, to look at the uncomfortable things that we have created of ourselves in our lives. We can't tell lies to ourselves. If you ask the uncomfortable questions and then wait in stillness for a response, you will always get it from yourself. You may not want to share it with anybody else, but you cannot lie to yourself. You know what is right and what is wrong on your own inner level. And that's what the black insight is asking you to deal with, both in the majority of the month, but also towards the end of the month. But towards the end of the month, instead of keeping status quo, maintaining peace and quiet, giving an illusion of harmony and contentment, instead we're now finding yourself faced with a dilemma. What do you do next? How do you deal with differing and opposing and conflicting and at times uncomfortable energies that are calling you to make a decision one way or the other, and neither of the options that are available to you are particularly appealing? You know that because you've asked the questions internally. Your inner self is telling you this is not a choice that you want to make. So in the real world, you're finding yourself at a crossroads. How do you proceed forwards? What do you do next? What choices will you make? Well, that all depends on the underlying energy. And the underlying energy here is all about yellow on gray. The gray that exists in the outside world in the future is also part of the underlying energy throughout the entire month. There is a sense of things aren't quite right. You're being pushed from one role to another, from one decision to another. Whether you like it or not, those decisions are going to create massive ripple effects in the rest of your life and probably to those around you as well. So despite the illusion of everything is comfortable and wonderful here, in fact, things aren't as wonderful as they seem. Inside yourself, you want to make the right decisions, but unless you ask yourself the questions about those decisions, there's every chance that you're simply going to be sitting on the fence and doing nothing very much. In the real world, there's yellow. Yellow is the cautionary color. It's also a color of great joy and fun. Yellow is about memory. It's about what have you done in the past? What do you know? What can you remember? And it's those memories that are feeding into this uncertainty. You've been there. You've done that. You've experienced it. You remember what the outcome was. Is the situation you are in throughout April the same sort of situation? And chances are it probably is, because we tend to live our life in cycles. So how do we break that cycle? Let's have a look at the colors that are missing. You have black. There's no white. There's no red, but you do have yellow. There's no green, no blue, no brown, no orange. You do have gray. There's no purple. You have pink, and you have cyan. So here we have 5 colors representing the skills that are active for you in the month of April. The skills are potentially quite wonderful. That's what these 3, the yellow, pink, and cyan, are all about. But they can also be potentially catastrophic, and that's what the black and yellow and the gray and yellow are about. How do you overcome them? Well, these colors here are the ones that hold the key. White, red, green, blue, brown, orange, and purple. How do we deal with these? Well, firstly, white is about dealing with whatever comes, whatever novel experiences are likely to head your way when something new and unexpected happens. This is the color that will help you deal with it. Red has to do with passion, with action, with being able to get all of your energy working towards a particular direction that you want to go. But it has a warning as well, and that warning is don't make decisions in haste. Green is about new beginnings. It's about starting over in a different direction. It's about letting go of the past. Stop with the recrimination and the remorse and the regret. You don't need those anymore. Create new values and head in the direction that those values take you. Blue is about creating sort of peace and harmony and responsibility and a steady, stable life that allows you to be organized, to have all the things in place that need to be in place in order to live your life as comfortably as is possible. Brown is about creating goals, making the most of opportunities, learning the skills that are necessary in order for you to move from point A to point B to point C and so forth in a methodical and very determined manner. Orange is about overcoming crisis and drama. What is it in your life that you are avoiding, that you will not accept? What challenges are you not meeting? If challenges arise, do you have the courage and the confidence to face them head on? And finally, purple. Purple is about challenge as well, but this time the challenges are all of the imagination and the results that we have when something dramatic changes in our lives and we think about them in a particular way. Now, purple can be, because it's got to do with imagination, can be catastrophe. That is, everything is absolutely awful. Or it can be fun. That is, oh, a change has occurred. Let's play with the consequences. So which of those 7 colors are going to be most useful to you to traverse your pathway through April and to overcome this uncertainty and the need to withdraw because things seem to be overwhelming by the end of the month? Let's now look at the wisdom of the elders. To find a card or a message to help us along. Oh, one of these days I'll be able to shuffle, maybe. All right. I think I might take that one. It's hidden under there. What does it say? There is always room at the top. Well, oh dear, there is always room at the top. This makes you feel as though you're at the bottom. But if you ask yourself, what decisions do you need to make in order to overcome the tremors of the different directions that you are being pulled in the real world, maybe, just maybe, you will make it to the top and feel as though you have achieved, you have arrived, and that your life can be full of joy and sunshine. Well, an interesting idea. Now, March has been an extremely difficult month for everyone across the world. There are things that have happened that are entirely out of our control, and as a result, all of our hopes and dreams are up in the air. I hope that this April reading for you has brought you some justification for the choices that you've made and for the direction in which you're planning to go. Certainly, if you remember to use the 2 colors, the one that is most appealing and the one that is least appealing from that list of colors that is missing from your life at present, that you find your way towards something that will give you not only relief, but also comfort as you move towards May. May April be a lot calmer, a lot better for you than March certainly turned out to be. And may the colours of your life bring you all that is necessary for your own higher good. Until next time, bye.